Mr. Hornsby 83. This is the Mr. Hornsby 83 show. I am freezing freaking cold. I'm gonna turn this heater over real quick, and then I'll get this thing going. Build up, you stupid thing. Anyway, so I am here to talk about my thoughts on the announcement of All Elite Wrestling. Been a bit of buzz about it lately. Everybody's thinking it's the next coming of WCW. Everybody's like, yeah, it's gonna make wrestling great again because WWE's gonna be so threatened that they're gonna improve the product right away. Well, honestly, let me stop you right there for a sec, because this show, this AEW still has yet to announce what TV station they're gonna be on. They are supposed to be talking with several big stations, like, TNT and, some other big station. Hopefully not Paramount Network. That used to be Spike TV. But they still have not filled out their roster yet. Apparently they are going to have a roster filled with another big star in Kenny Omega, which I'm glad for, because I figured that Kenny Omega would join AEW with his friendship with the Bucks and Cody and Brandy and all them, and Hangman Page and all that. But at their press conference, Hangman Page came out and said, hey, I'm going to be the first AEW champion. And then Pac came out, interrupted him, Pac, whatever his freaking name is, formerly Neville of WWE, came out and said, you think you're going to be the champion in AEW? You're dead wrong. So, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And speaking of championships, what are their belts going to look like? They got to decide on what the belt design is going to be, how they're going to build this company, who's going to be their top guys that are fighting for heavyweight division, what divisions they're going to have. Are they going to have a freaking... I'm pretty sure they'll have a heavyweight division. They will have a secondary title, but will it be an Intercontinental title? Will it be a U.S. Championship? Will it be a new thing, a global championship? Hopefully not a global championship. Global championship or King of the Mountain championship is just too much of a weird name for a secondary title. Will they do a television title? Hopefully not, because we got enough TV titles with ROH having a world television title. Well, I wouldn't say we have enough television titles. Could do a world television title. I mean, that belt, I love a world television title. Those things are always awesome. I like WCW's television title until they freaking killed the belt. When Scott Hall chucked it in the trash after he won it. Because you look at all the other wrestling, and plus the belt design is probably going to be important too, but, look at all the other wrestlings, they got their belt designs. You got WWE's belt designs, you got New Japan's belt design, you got Ring of Honor's designs, you got Impact Wrestling's design, You don't have to find a belt designs that work well. As far as underneath the World Championship and the secondary title, are they gonna have? They're gonna have tag titles as well. I'm pretty sure SCU wouldn't have joined had they not. Are they gonna have a women's division title and a lower, like a lightweight championship division? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because, you look at New Japan, one of people's biggest gripes about New Japan, they have too many belts, because you got IWGP World Championship, you got the IWGP Intercontinental, IWGP US title just came out, IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles, IWGP Junior Tag titles, never Openweight title, never Openweight 6-man titles, and, think I said the Junior Heavyweight Championship already. So they got a lot of belts. New Japan's probably got the most belts aside from WWE on their roster, because WWE's got their belts, which, if you count it, the UK belts, the NXT belts, the freaking main roster belts, the new women's tag titles that are going to be having champions after Elimination Chamber. So, what are they going to do with their title? I think a total of, here's how championships should be structured. You got the world title at the top. Then you got the secondary, upper card belt, mid-upper card belts. Got the secondary title. Then you have the tag belts. Then you have possibly a women's title. Then a junior heavyweight title, or light heavyweight title, or cruiserweight title, or, something like that. Also, I think it's going to take them a couple years to really be a true threat competition to WWE. Because everybody's like, oh, AEW, they're going to change the wrestling world. They're going to get WWE so scared that WWE's going to change what they do. I think it'll take them a couple years to be a true competition to WWE. I think, honestly, too, if they start out slow and, the first couple years don't go well, and then the third year they start hitting a stride and they continue to keep that stride going consistently, I think AEW could do well. Because you don't want, it'd be nice to start out good, but you don't want AEW to become the next Impact Wrestling, where, they started out as NWA TNA. They took the NWA off, made it just TNA. They then said, screw it, we're going to be Impact Wrestling, which is the name of their show. Then they're like, oh, wait a minute, now we got a chance to, be Global Force Wrestling, which they freaking botched getting that name, so they went back to Impact Wrestling. They changed all their belts to say Impact Wrestling on them instead of freaking, Global Force or TNA or whatever. And TNA is on their 500th channel since they've started. Now, the companies that are doing really good, that are, are doing really good, are ones that's been on at least one or maybe two networks. Like, look at Ring of Honor. Started on an upper tier channel that people couldn't get. Now is on Sinclair Network. Channel 64, as I call it. I've always called it Channel 64. And I'll probably continue calling it that till the day I die, possibly. It's on Channel 64 now. Whether it's My 64 or, Sinclair 64, whatever it is, I'll just say Channel 64. Anyway, and it's been on there for quite a while. New Japan. I don't know how long it's been on Access, but it's been there for quite a while. In fact, Access even showed us this year's Wrestle Kingdom the day of the event. We actually got to watch it. I guess you could say pretty much live. I wouldn't say necessarily live, because they record at, 3, 4 in the morning, and then it popped up on there. But yeah. So, we got to see all of this year's Wrestle Kingdom 13, which there was a lot of matches I missed on that, because I was doing this live, YouTube simulcast, which was my last Facebook Live YouTube simulcast ever. Also, another thing with AEW, is it just going to be, hopefully they don't do a thing where it's like, oh, we're just going to make all of us the top guys, and we're going to be a faction together. We're going to be I think you need to have these elite guys fighting each other in matches and that. You can still be buddies and that, but you can still make matches where you guys are fighting against each other. Now, one thing they've kind of stayed away from so far is taking former WWE guys signing them. But rumor is they're interested in Dean Ambrose. They also want the revival. Now, if you get those guys, don't have them come into your company and shoot on WWE. Just, have them come in, list their credentials, talk about how good they are, and, make those guys, show why they should have been better utilized instead of coming out saying, when we were up north, we got robbed, blah, 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 we got mistreated, we got buried, blah, blah, blah. Don't do none of that. So yeah, I don't want the Elite to be a group together. I think they all should be individuals. The Bucks as an individual tag team. Paige individual, Rhodes, Cody, an individual, Kenny Omega, all those guys need to be individuals. Make those guys individuals. Yeah, they can be buddy-buddy, but I don't want them being a big old faction that's going to pretty much overshadow the whole new company you're bringing in. Now, the owner, I don't know if it's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars or his son. Either way, please don't freaking try to force feed Jacksonville down people's throats. A lot of wrestling fans don't even watch football. I mean, I do. I'm a wrestling fan, but I also watch football, but I'm also a Colts fan. So I do not like Jacksonville Jaguars, but if they can help wrestling be great again, I'll like the freaking owners. I still won't like the freaking Jags, period, but, So, that's what they need to do. They need to focus on, what they need to do, they need to focus on making, the company, get some established guys, make them superstars in the company. Don't rely on some WWE, because I also hear they're interested in CM Punk. Honestly, my opinion, I don't think you want a guy who has not wrestled for 5 freaking years and is getting up there in age to be one of your top guys in your new promotion. Yeah, be nice to bring CM Punk in for, here and there moments like cameos or whatever. You can do that. Now, another thing what I think AEW needs to do, all these guys have wrestled at these promotions. They need to kind of do something like, they need to take a little bit of what WWE's doing, not copy it, but do something similar to what WWE's doing. Do something similar to what Impact Wrestling's doing right now, because it's improved vastly than it was a couple years ago. Do that, even though I think now Impact is finally going to die, because not a lot of people have pursuit, so Impact might actually die this time. I'm just saying. But take some things that Impact's doing. Don't, like I said, don't copy it, but take some things that they might be doing that y'all can integrate in your wrestling. Also, look at what Ring of Honor and New Japan's doing as well, and do some of the stuff they're doing as well. And, do some of the stuff they're doing on the independent scene. Not, like I said, don't totally copy it, but take a little bit from each company that you currently are going against right now. And, integrate some of that into it. Don't integrate what WWE, don't integrate too much of the garbage WWE's putting out there. But, certain things that, might get the fans interested. And, certain things like Ring of Honor and New Japan and, other wrestlers are doing. Kind of integrate some of those certain things from those promotions. And, I think you might have a recipe for success. And like I said, I'm not saying totally copy all these companies. You don't want to do that. You don't want to steal too much of their talent either, because, Impact right now is on this thing where they're trying to homegrown a lot of their superstars now, which I think is a good thing. But some of the guys they bring up are just pathetic and just suck. Then there's some cases where you got an Eli Drake and the new LAX that help. You gotta find a guy that can really draw a top-notch superstar. Now, they might try to do that with Kenny Omega. since now apparently he is coming to New Japan. All the rumors about Kenny Omega was possibly he was going to show up at Royal Rumble. They all figured, well, he's going to join AEW. He might show up WrestleMania. Who knows? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe he shows up Elimination Chamber, challenge AJ Styles for the belt. By the way, I think I mentioned the hemp belt that Daniel Bryan unveiled on Tuesday SmackDown. But yeah, I think, take it easy at first. Don't make mistakes that WCW made when they first started. Don't, let's see how things go consistently with AEW before we can say, oh, it is the next WCW. Because right now, you need a full roster. You need to figure out what your belt designs are going to be, what your titles are going to be. I know your top titles are probably going to be, they're probably going to be called the AEW Championship or the AEW World Championship, maybe AEW World Heavyweight Championship, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the secondary title is either going to be somewhere between a television title, a Intercontinental, or a US or something like that. And, I think TV title would be cool. I always like television titles. I mean, I like WCW when they had a television title. And, I've even, when I talked about the Intercontinental title and US title a few years ago with wrestling video, or the wrestling video I did, I talked about, before they did the brand split, I'm like, well, the US and Intercontinental can, still coexist together. You don't have to merge those two belts because they're two separate entities. Intercontinental Championship is a title that's defended all over the continent or whatnot. US title is pretty much considered, you're the champion of America, but you're the champion of several different continents if you're Intercontinental champion. So I kind of put that argument out there that, yeah, who's going to be your top guy? I mean, yes, I know, Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega and Hangman Page should be the two of your top guys. If Cody wants to integrate himself as a heel, because he does so well as a heel, I think Cody can integrate himself as a heel. But we don't need the Elite being a complete faction, being a total faction. You can still do the stuff you want to do on being the Elite, but, Cody may be a heel. Kenny Omega and Page is feuding with Cody because he screwed him over out of the belt or something. Seems like they've already covered some of their bases with, they're pretty much saying you're not an independent contractor if you sign with AEW. You're actually a member of this roster and you're a contracted wrestler. You work for this company. Some stuff like that, And I think Cody and the Bucks are mainly running the show. And like I said, I don't want a thing where they could just go wrestle in a company they came up with and just be a faction. Especially if they're doing behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, Ric Flair was a booker in that when he was with the booking committee with WCW. But a lot of times, Flair, the Horsemen were, they were heavily featured, but there was a lot of good guys they had that would combat the Horsemen and beat them. And especially if you're, if the Elite's going to be a face, a face faction, why would anybody want to take them out? I think, yeah, y'all can still do BTE and all that stuff, but, don't do the faction thing where, the Elite's going to rule AEW just because it's called All Elite Wrestling. Do some things that, take some chances. Yeah, take some chances that WWE or some of the other companies ain't willing to take. Just don't do something that will totally get y'all so much heat to where it has to close doors in about a half a year or so. Keep your talent happy, which it sounds like that's one of their plans, is to keep the talent happy. I don't think anybody should let any politics. Now, yeah, there's going to still be some people that politic. Even today, there's probably still people that politic in any wrestling. You don't think Okada probably politics in New Japan or Tanahashi? Tanahashi probably had a gripe that Okada broke his freaking title defense record, so he's like, well, make me the first ever 8-time IWGP World Champion. I think 8-time, yeah. Make me the first ever 8-time IWGP Champion. Or, I think Jericho, too, he could be a guy that could be one of your top guys for a short time. And, quite honestly, Jericho as a heel, and you put the belt on him, you have like Omega or freaking Pac or freaking Hangman Page chasing, Jericho for a bit to get that belt. That might be a good idea, and I think that was smart that they did sign a veteran such as Chris Jericho. One of the greatest, in-ring performers ever. I mean, I used to say that about his old friend Benoit, but Benoit, we all know what happened with the Benoit situation. What he did personally, I think he's a piece of trash for it, but in the wrestling ring, he was just amazing and great. And even Eric Bischoff touched on it on 83 Weeks on yesterday's episode when they talked about Sold Out 2000. He's like, whatever I felt about what Benoit did personally, he was still a great in-ring performer, which he was. But, you cannot justify what he did outside the ring to his wife and his kid. That's just pathetic and sick. And then to take the coward's way out was just pathetic. But, other than that, he was a great in-ring wrestler. But now that's kind of Jericho. And you think about, guys that are currently technically great in the ring. I'm not going to say technically, but really great. Putting on great matches and that. One of those guys is Kenny Omega, who is now, I guess, going to go to AEW. They got a rally coming up. I think it's either today or tomorrow. Might have even been yesterday. I don't know. It's coming up. We saw the cliffhanger at the end of Being the Elite. Is, Kenny Omega coming to AEW anyway. I think he is. I just don't want the Elite faction being the top. I don't want all those guys being top. Yeah, the Bucks, if they want to be one of the top teams in the tag division, that's fine. But make sure you build other tag teams up that'll be good enough to compete with you guys. Secondary title guys you could bring in. I mean, Joey Janela might be one of them. Your top main event guys right now is Cody, Page, and Omega. Also, Jericho. But like I said, yeah. I think it'd be wise to make Jericho first AEW champion. And then he loses it to Hangman Page or Kenny Omega. One of those guys beats him to become the champion. And then when Jericho retires or decides to leave AEW when his contract's up or whatnot, either he retires, he goes back to WWE, whatever. You could turn Kenny Omega either heel or you could turn Page heel, or maybe you've got a guy that could be a great heel at Omega and Page. But you don't want to keep Omega Page faces too long either. Sometimes, when you make a guy face too long, people get tired of him, they get tired of his routine, they get tired of the kiss your baby situation. So, and I like Kenny Omega a lot as a heel. So, when Jericho's done after, he's done with AEW, because he's only got a 2 or 3 year contract with them. When he's done there, you build Omega to be the next heel for a bit. And you can build another guy to be heel after that. You can still switch guys face to heel, but, I don't know. Because it seemed like when I watched Wrestle Kingdom 13, I did catch the Omega Tanahashi match. It seemed like they were cheering Tanahashi a lot more than they were Omega. I guess maybe because they were figuring, well, he's about to be out anyway. He's about to do what the Bucks and freaking Cody and all them did to us, and that's leave us to go to this AEW thing. When are they gonna have their title? I guess it's a good thing they're waiting for their first pay-per-view Double or Nothing to be in May, because that still gives you time to get a roster together, a full roster. That still gives you time to figure out belt designs and all that stuff. That still gives you time to plan on who's going to be the top faces, who's going to be the top heels, who's going to be the top tag teams, who's going to be the top guy in your secondary title, who's going to be the top woman in your women's division. More than likely, probably put Brandy Rhodes in there as one of the top ladies for the women's division. If you do a lightweight division in any way, or it'd be cruiserweight, junior, light heavyweight, blah, 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 blah. Who's going to be your top guy in that division? So, who's going to be your top guys in that division? You need to have a company built around a bunch of guys, not just one guy, but a bunch of guys. And that's something that WCW did for a lot of years before they started the whole NWO thing. When, they had that. And even then, they still had that kind of set up to where it was built around a bunch of guys and not just one certain faction. But, things are crazy. I think, well, I'll wait to see the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. If that's good, and then after Double or Nothing happens, or if they announce it at Double or Nothing, if they announce what TV station they're on, I'll tune in. I'll check the weekly product out and see how good it is and what kind of talent it, and I will be able to notice which guys are trying to build up as top guys or not. I don't know, So, yeah. Just don't put the whole focus on the elite, faction to be the top, all the top guys. Build around a bunch of guys. Young Bucks cannot be the top tag team throughout the whole tag team division at AEW. And it can't just be Cody, Page, Omega, and Jericho being the top guys fighting for the World Championship. You gotta have a group of guys that have the ability to have good promos, have good matches, make matches feel big and special, and do things that some of the other companies are scared to do. I mean, that's kind of what Impact's been doing, and that's why they've been a little more improved. But, like I said, even though they improved with what network they're on, it might actually end up being the end of Impact, and then a lot of those guys are looking for jobs. And I think Eli Drake would be a valuable guy to have on a roster. Don't even have to be a top guy. He could be a mid-card guy. Austin Aries, we don't know what his situation is in Impact, so maybe he's going to AEW. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, even some of these guys are planning on making top guys. They're a little bit up there in age, but I think they still got to get 5, maybe 10 years left in them. A couple of them, like Cody, Omega, Page. I think Page is probably the youngest guy that's a part of the league. Him and Skrull and them, but the Bucks are even up there in age, so I'm pretty sure they know, hey, we got to build these guys up as characters that people's going to care about. People's going to want to see win our championships or whatever. Like I said, I want to know what the championships are going to look like. Are they going to go to route of WWE? And, well, pretty much it looks like everybody's going around WWE, because you look at the Ring of Honor titles, except for the 6-man tag belts, a lot of the freaking belts they got on there, they now have, 5 championships, because they got the heavyweight television, the tag team, heavyweight television tag teams, 6-man tag teams, and now a Women of Honor championship. Yeah, 5 of them, right? But, a lot of the belts look similar to the main World Championship, which is what Jay Lethal holds. Which, if you've been watching, they got Matt Taven carrying around his own belt saying, I'm the real Ring of Honor champion. So, yeah. You gotta get some talented guys that can carry a company, too. And, if they are interested in Dean Ambrose, that's a guy you could bring in and probably be a top heel as well. And I think he'd be a bigger draw as a heel than he would as a face. I think he could help make AEW something, if he's a heel and he comes in and he gets to be what he was when he was Johnny Moxley, or was it Johnny Moxley or Tyler? No, Seth Rollins was Tyler Black. Johnny Moxley was Dean Ambrose. So if they could have him do, especially with the fact of what they've done with Sami Callihan, I think they have Ambrose do that same stuff when he goes, if he goes to AEW, because he's wanting to leave WWE. And in a way, I don't blame him. I mean, they have really destroyed all the stupid, they made him do all these stupid promos. They built him up as a lunatic fringe, but he never really did anything that was really lunatic. I mean, Brian Pillman pulling a gun out to keep Stone Cold Steve Austin from breaking in his house, that's a lunatic. And, at that time, too, when they were pushing Ambrose to be a top guy, they were comparing him to Brian Pillman. Now, I've said time and time again, I think the guy that's probably closest to a Brian Pillman, I haven't seen his son wrestle, but I hear his son does some of the similar things his dad does. Someone that'd be similar to a Brian Pillman would probably be Kenny Omega. You watch some of the stuff he did in Japan, even as a face, that's still kind of lunatic-y. So, yeah. And then if you've seen that Halloween episode of Being Elite, yeah, that's some lunatic stuff. Where he was fantasizing about some, well, actually it was supposed to have been a fantasy, but then it turned out he really did do that to them. I don't know. That show's funny, though. I gotta give it credit. They are funny on that show. Especially the Christmas one where freaking, they had Kazarian sitting there acting like he was, Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But yeah, I don't want, this AEW to be built around, the Elite faction. You can start it out with the guys from the Elite faction being some of the top guys. But then you gotta continue to evolve with the company. And, I think the Bucks and Cody, if they continue running it, even after their wrestling careers are over, they might even only wrestle another year or two and then call it quits and just do, backstage stuff. Because you really think about it, Cody's dad, Dusty, he wrestled, I believe, until the early 90s, then he was done. Wrestled until the early 90s, then he did a lot of backstage stuff, with helping with WWF at the time when he, after they had him put on polka dots. Then he went to WCW, was a big part of WCW's creative team. And look at what he helped Triple H build with the NXT brand. That freaking NXT started out as a dumb reality show where these guys had to do freaking contests to see if they were WWE ready. Thankfully, they went with the route that, they should have, with making it a wrestling show, fighting for championships. Even though they don't really count those championships as major world championships because they're on NXT, kind of like with the ECW championship when they revived ECW in 2006. We're reviving this. This belt's not gonna matter no more anyway, and some of the greatest wrestlers had that belt. I mean, guys like Taz. I'm pretty sure that made Taz mad. Like, so you just treat this belt like it's nothing. You're treating it like your freaking WWF Hardcore Championship. That's what you're doing. Because that's what I got the feeling it was there for a while. Especially when you got guys like Jack Swagger beating Christian for it, I think. Anyway, AEW, I think, can do well if they do things right. Don't screw things up like Impact AEW. Do not screw things up to where you finally started proving yourself, but then you're moved to another channel that not many people have, and you're going to lose ratings. And I know they announced the whole Twitch thing at Homecoming that, we're going to be on Twitch too, we're going to be on Pursuit, we're going to be on Twitch, but, watch us on Twitch. I don't even have Twitch. I'm thinking about doing Twitch for my, playthroughs and Blu-ray, DVD, VHS commentaries, but I still haven't decided yet. That's why I gave you guys a vlog Tuesday, which not only announced what I was doing this week, but it also announced what I have planned for next week. AEW can really shake things up. Everybody's pulling for it to shake things. Everybody already thinks it shook things up. Like, oh, it's already great. You haven't even seen it on TV yet. Wait till Double or Nothing to see how that goes. That pay-per-view is in May. Watch Double or Nothing, which I'm guessing more than likely either on Being the Elite they're going to announce what channel AEW is going to be on, or more than likely they're going to wait until Double or Nothing to announce their official channel, and their first show will air. In fact, I'm actually going to predict that. Their first show will air after the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. What day of the week it will be, I have no freaking clue. There's Wednesday's open because there's not no wrestle. Well, NXT, but that's on WWE Network. Not on national TV. Whatever channel it comes on and whatever day it, decides to air. But, you got two prime spots. You got a Thursday spot. You got a Wednesday spot. I mean a Tuesday spot because SmackDown's going back to Friday. I think Impact moved to Friday. So you could probably have Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'm thinking because I think they did a copyright for a Tuesday show name, so maybe Tuesday night. Tuesday night Delight or Tuesday night, Tuesday Night Greatness, whatever they're going to freaking call the show. I don't know. Because Monday, you do not want to starting on a Monday going head to head with WWE. But, Fridays, it's going to be a pretty busy Friday because, you now have, not only do you have New Japan on Access now, they just started 2 weeks ago, Wow, Women of Wrestling, which I watched that, and I seen the lady that's the main lady for that. Tessa Blanchard needs to be a main lady for that. She is talented, and usually a lot of times I cheer some of these women wrestlers just because of how hot they are or whatever. Like a lot of guys probably do. But there are some I do respect that can wrestle well, like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. She's pretty good. And Tessa Blanchard, man, she is just a beast. And, the way she can play, the way she plays up, she's always bragging about how, hey, I'm the daughter of Tully Blanchard. He was a 4 horseman. I'm the father of a great U.S. champion I have a stepfather of a great U.S. champion called Magnum TA. I'm bad to the bone. She's one of those bad chicks, man. One of those bad chicks that kick somebody's butt. And I think, hopefully, WoW puts the freaking title on her soon, because I watched it last week. I didn't watch the first episode, but I watched it last week, which is the second episode. And she just came out, and then what she did to that freaking main lady's freaking dad, oh my god. Oh my god, she's a bad chick. And then somebody, that's something else I'm going to talk about, because I have a Wrestling Illustrated magazine. It says it's for February 2019, which really means, January 2019. But who they got listed as top women superstars in there is just atrocious, and their title info is totally out of date. I mean, honestly. Totally out of date. It's got Roman Reigns is still Universal Champion, even though he vacated the title because of the leukemia thing. AJ was still in there as WWE Champion. I'll do that, not this week, but the week after. I'll talk about that. I think it's ludicrous. That's why I try not to swat, The frickin' X Division or World Champion is listed as frickin' Austin Aries. I don't know if Austin Aries came back or not on Impact. I haven't watched it since their last Pop TV episode. And I was mad. Well, actually, I'd say I probably watched the Homecoming. But I haven't watched Impact since that last freaking show on Pop. And I watched Homecoming and I felt like Brian Cage really got robbed. BS how that ended. Anyway, so I guess that's pretty much it for what I got to say about AEW. I hope it's what shakes up the wrestling industry. I hope. I'm not going to put my expectations too high and say it's going to shake up the wrestling industry. I'm going to say I hope because I want it to be great so that WWE would stop being freaking garbage. And really, at this point, I don't even care if WWE's still garbage or not. With the way I've been watching New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, here and there, I'd watch it, yeah, I'll be honest with you, I thought the Wild Women's Wrestling was even more entertaining, especially more entertaining than these past few shows of Raw and SmackDown. I even said when I did the review of the NXT TakeOver show, which was in the vlog, and the Royal Rumble, I said, the NXT show was better, but the Rumble wasn't bad. I still liked the Rumble this year. I think last year and this year I liked the Rumbles, but the years prior to that I thought they was fucking garbage. Yeah, so hopefully AEW does shake up the wrestling industry and we can get back to wrestling being as popular as it was back when the Monday Night War was going on. And, another thing I always hear when I hear about this freaking Monday Night War, it's always between Raw and it's always between SmackDown, or it's always between Raw and Nitro. They never really gave ECW any credit because had it not been for ECW, I don't think either company would have tried any of the extreme stuff they tried. Bischoff took a lot of ECW guys, and when he got a lot of those ECW guys, he started having, those guys in more hardcore style matches like they would in ECW. WWE tried to help ECW, supposedly. They would feature their guys on Raw sometimes. But I guess after the New Jack Ahmed Johnson brawling in the back, that ended. So, everybody says, oh, Raw and Nitro were the two. ECW, and I don't think not enough people give ECW credit. ECW also was a factor in that war and why Vince McMahon changed his company. Because, honestly, ECW did a lot more reality-based characters than even what WCW was doing. And Bischoff tried to claim, oh, I didn't pay attention to ECW. And he always talked about how, I wanted to do reality-based characters. And that's how it was. But yet, a lot of your main featured guys were guys who had face paint. And a guy that people, you had the freaking, you had Brutus the Barber Beefcake play 3 different freaking characters. The Butcher, what was the other one? Actually, I think 4. The Butcher, the Zodiac, what was that other one? He also was the Booty Man. I think it was something else before the Booty Man. Butcher, the Zodiac, Butcher, Zodiac, and the Booty Man. So it was 3 different characters. And all 3 of those characters were stupid. Earthquake comes in. He's called the Shark. Even had the fins painted on the bottom of his chin and all that. So yeah, ECW really, despite what Bischoff wants to claim, ECW really did more of the reality-based characters, a lot more than... Yeah, WCW did it with a lot of guys like Sting and guys like Flair and freaking Dusty Rhodes and that. And the Horsemen and all that. And the guys that were top guys in NWA like Harley Race and that. But then when WCW, you had a bunch of characters like Sting, you had the Renegade. And yeah, Sting was kind of a reality character too, but he had the face paint. He was a WWE character pretty much. So, yeah, I think ECW did a little more of the reality-based stuff. More than what, WCW did at the time. So, people need to give ECW more credit than what they give it. It's just like, I remember when I was younger, I did this just to tease my friend Eugene. I would call ECW extremely crappy wrestling just to tease my friend Eugene because he loved ECW. I told him, like, I tell you, sucks. He's a midget. And, all that. But, like I said, I did it to bother my friend Eugene, but, I respected what ECW did. I liked what they did. It's very enjoyable, very entertaining, especially in the, early to mid-90s. They were definitely more entertaining than WWE and WCW now. When it got closer to, when it got around the late 90s and crap, yeah, WWE and WCW were killing it. But WWE killed it even more when they brought in Stone Cold Steve Austin and pushed him all the way to where he went. And then you had The Rock, pushed him all the way. Triple H, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, a guy that could put butts in the seats if he won his first ever world title against The Rock, compared to a finger poke of doom, which I'm not gonna keep harping on it. People are probably wondering, why is he doing so many wrestling based? Well, so much. I didn't do much wrestling stuff last year. I did not do much wrestling YouTube videos. So I'm kind of making up for that. Also, WrestleMania is coming up. I'll probably do some more. I really don't have nothing else planned other than, the Shield show that I'm doing tomorrow, where I talk about not the wrestling faction, The Shield, the FX TV show starring Michael Chiklis, The Shield. I talk about how it could have possibly crossed over a couple times with some, even though it did still kind of cross over with Sons of Anarchy. Only thing was, the guys that came in to guest star were not the characters they were in The Shield, so yeah. I think some crossovers with The Shield would have really, Shield and Sons of Anarchy would have had a lot of crossovers. But I'll talk about that more tomorrow. Actually, I think possibly today might have been, no, next week I got the review of the WCW Ron Simmons figure, Hall of Champions, Series 2. I'm going to be reviewing that. I'm going to have my thoughts on this freaking WCW belt that, Mattel made, but they botched it again. I'll talk about that. When I do the review of the figure, I'll explain why I said they botched it again. Then after that, I think won't be doing too many wrestling. Actually, no, tomorrow I'm not doing the Shield one. I'm doing the Shield one next week. So, tomorrow I'm going to be doing how I would have casted and scripted the 1994 Street Fighter movie that stars Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, how I would have scripted and, cast that movie. You'd be surprised who I say should have been Guile instead of Van Damme. And y'all know I'm a big Van Damme fan, so, So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Before I go, today is January 31st, and a friend of mine's having a birthday, and I want to give him a special birthday shout out. So happy birthday, Heavy Metal Turtle. Hope you have a good birthday, and hope you get everything you want for your birthday. I have another special birthday shout out tomorrow, even though I think her birthday was a month ago, but we're doing the party Saturday, which is why I'll be down in Newport again, going to Crunch with my cousin Brandon. I won't be doing a video from there, but But yeah, I'll do that shout out when I do how I would have casted the Street Fighter movie. And happy birthday, Heavy Metal Turtle. Also, something else I want to throw out there. If anybody that plays, Friday 13th or anything with me on Xbox, right now I don't have an Xbox One. It is broke. It stopped working on me, and I took care of it yesterday, and it's in the trash now, so, not going to say what I did to it after it stopped working on me, but, So I'm going to wait and see if I'm able to get another new one sometime soon. And hopefully, if what I'm hearing is correct, if you are able to use the account you used for the one you had prior, that should restore my games that I bought from the store, which was GTA San Andreas and GTA 4, the Xbox store. It should, also Friday 13th, it should restore all my progress on Friday 13th. It should restore all the save stuff I have on some of my other games. And I'm hoping to get WWE 2K19, so I may not be able to get a retro console this year. Might only be able to get accessories for some of my other retro consoles, which that's what I need anyway. I was planning on buying another new PlayStation 2 because this one got messed up. And I was planning on, because before the PlayStation 2 got messed up, I planned on getting a new Sega CD. But might just focus on getting accessories and games for, the consoles I got right now. So, yeah. Again, happy birthday, Heavy Metal Turtle. Have a fun birthday. Peace out. Ugh.